Hello, my good students and listeners out there. I am Mbakwe, a former from Biology Department at St. Charles College, Onitsha. I welcome you all today for our online teaching. The subject we are looking at is biology, and the topic we have to discuss today is classification of plants. So let us look at the specific objectives. It is expected that by the end of the lesson, you students will be able to state the 3 bases of classification of crops, list the 5 groups of plants according to botanical classification, mention at least 8 groups of crops based on agricultural classification, then differentiate between the groups, give examples of them, and finally state with 2 examples each the 3 groups of crops based on life cycle. Now to the main topic of our lesson today, which is classification of plants. Okay, I know you've been eating different types of food like rice, beans, different types of fruits like mango, pawpaw, and others. Then different types of vegetables like amaranthus, water leaf, and the rest of them. Now, let me ask you, where do you think that all these food come from? Yes, all of them are from plants. And if you look around, you see so many plants around. So there is need to order them in a particular sequence for easier identification. So we look at classification of plants. We classify plants using botanical classification, agricultural classification, and classification based on life cycles of those plants. All right? Now, botanical classification. This method is based on the structure, the function, and then the origin of those plants. And when we consider them like that, we see that we have 5 groups. We have the Bryophyta, we have the Lycophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm, and Angiosperm. And this botanical classification, we have done it in your first term, so go back and read them well again. Agricultural classification. Now, crops are classified here based on their food values, what they have inside them. So when we consider them like that, we have the following crops. The cash crops. These cash crops are grown for sale for profits. Either you sell them locally or export for foreign exchange. We have such crops like cocoa. You can see them in the diagram. You see cocoa there, you see rubber, groundnuts, and the rest of them. So when you plant them, you sell them for money. The next one is food crops. Now, under food crops, we have cereals. These cereals are grain crops. They belong to the grass family. We cultivate them for their seeds or fruits. And these crops are very rich in carbohydrates and fiber. They also contain vitamins and proteins. Examples of them are, you can see those in the diagram, rice, maize. We also have millet, barley, and the rest of them. Something like barley and rice, they can be fermented and be used in the brewing industry to produce alcoholic drinks. Now we look at the next one, the legumes. These are grown for their dry seed, though some of them have fresh seeds. These plants have root nodules. That is peculiar to them. They have swellings in their roots, and inside those nodules, certain bacteria, the nitrogen-fixing bacteria, are living there. Those bacteria are able to absorb the free nitrogen of the air and use them to produce nitrate, which is ready-made food for the plants. Now, the examples of these food include the cowpea, soyabeans, groundnuts, and the rest of them. We look at the roots and tubers. These crops are those ones that manufacture their food and store them inside their roots to become root tuber, or inside their stem to become stem tubers. Those food they store make them to swell, and these food are rich in carbohydrates. We cultivate them for feeding, and some parts of them, like their peels, are used in feeding animals. Their examples include examples of root tubers, the cassava, you see it. It is the root of the cassava that swell, so it is the root. Then carrot is also a root tuber. Now, when we look at the stem tuber, they include cocoyam, you have in the picture. Then you have potato, begonias. All these are stem tubers, all right? Then we look at the vegetables. These crops are grown for their leaves and their fruits. We use them as vegetables, and these are very rich in vitamins and minerals. Example of leafy vegetables are the spinach. This spinach is that one you normally call green. There is no vegetable name that is green, because all vegetables are green in color. Right? So the name is spinach or amaranthus. Then we have lettuce, we have cabbage, water leaf, and the rest of them. There are many. Then some are fruit-bearing vegetables like tomato, garden egg, and others. Others are something like root vegetables like the carrots, onions, etc. Right? Okay, we look at the fruits and nuts. These ones are cultivated for their fruits, and these fruits are rich in vitamins and minerals. Examples of fruits include the apple, mango. As you can see from the picture there, you have other ones with you there. Then we have the nuts. Nuts are fruits, but they are dry ones. Like you see cashew nuts here. We have walnuts. Walnut is that one you generally call opa. You have chestnut. We have others. Okay. Then we look at beverage crops. These crops are being produced. Some of them are leaves. Some of them are their fruits, and some are their seeds. Example of the one that is the fruit is coffee. Then the one that is the seed is cocoa. This cocoa, is used to produce all these beverage like Bonvita, Vitalo, what are they? Ovaltine. They are being used to produce those ones. Then you have leaves. Example of it is tea, like Lipton tea, green teas. Is their leaves that are being used. So they are being processed into drinks. We have the spice crops. These ones are being grown for the part of their body that is strongly aromatic. Like you have the one that their back is strongly aromatic, like the cinnamon. You can see it in the diagram here. There are some that it is their seeds, like the nutmeg. Most of you know what is nutmeg. Some is their fruits, like vanilla. This vanilla, it is being used both in making cake and making some of the drinks. Then you have some, their roots or their rhizome, like the ginger, turmeric. They are being used as seasoning, and all of them do impact flavor to the food, so that that food is more appetizing, more presentable. Is that okay? They can also be used to add to our drinks. All right. Then we look at the oil crops. The oil crops, they have their seed or their fruit being able to produce oil. Examples are the oil palm, the olive plants, coconut plants, and others as sunflower. They are being used to produce oil. When these oil are extracted, they are refined. After refining, some of them are being used to cook food. Then some are used for making something like lubricants, soap, paints, margarine, and others. Then we have sugar crops. The sugar crops are being cultivated because of their high content of sugar. So those sugar contents are being sold as a raw material in sugar producing industry. Examples of them are sugar cane, as you can see in the diagram. We have sugar beets, this one that is called beetroot. We have also sweet sorghum. All of them have high sugar content and they are being used in the industry to produce sugar. Okay? Then the drug crops. These drug crops are being cultivated because of their medicinal value. Some plants, it is their bark. Some, it is their roots. Some, their seed or their leaves or even flowers. They are being used as drug. For instance, the malaria drug, the quinine that is being used to produce this is from the bark of sycamore tree. Then we have other ones, our local ones, like moringa. It is medicinal. Dogoyaro. It is being used locally to produce malaria medicine. Then other ones, even pawpaw, the leaf and unripe fruit of it, even bitter leaf. So most of the plants we have medicinal value in one part of their body or the other. Then we look at the fiber crops. These crops are grown because of their fiber. And these fiber are used to produce thread and yarn for the textile industries. Examples of them are cocoa, flax, jute. You know this jute. The jute is being used to produce all these jute bags that we use in bagging some cereals like maize, legumes like beans, even stockfish, onions, then something like cotton. Most of the materials we are wearing and those ones you are wearing there in your homes, they are being made from cotton. Is that clear? Then we look at rubber crops. The rubber crops are being grown because of their latex. This latex is the liquid that comes out when you use a machete or knife to cut across the rubber plants and they will come out. They are used in the rubber manufacturing industry to produce vehicle tires. You see in all the vehicle around, footwears, both sandal, slippers, shoe, at least rubber footwears now are trendy because we are in rainy season. Then surgical gloves, these ones are the medical people put on, the doctors and nurses, in order to attend to people, especially these coronavirus days. Then hose, the hose you use in connecting water from the tap to your tank. So all of them are products of latex. From the latex, they are being produced. Then we look at the fodder crops. These ones are grown to provide animal feed. They are just cultivated as other crops are being cultivated in a particular place. So the owner will now take the animal to that place to graze or can cut them like the person you are seeing here. Cut them and then give to the animal that is in the ranch. Is that clear? Example, peanut hair, sweet clover, and others. The ornamental plants. These ones are grown for their aesthetic value. They beautify the environment. We use them to beautify our houses, the school, the churches. In fact, if you see the place where the flowers are well taken care of, cut to certain shapes, you will like to stay there longer. At least I've been seeing you. When you come there, you start taking selfie of yourself. So they are ornamental plants. You have rose flower, you have hibiscus flower, and the rest of them. Then we look at classification of plants based on their life cycle. That is how long they live. So there, the plants are classified into 3 groups, which are the annual plants. These ones are mainly herbaceous plants. That is those that don't have wood. If you bend them, they will break. So these ones complete their life cycle in 1 year. That is, you grow them, they will grow, develop seed, mature, produce flower, produce seed, and their seed mature, and they die that same year before the onset of unfavorable weather. Is that clear? Everything is completed within 1 year, some of them within few months, like the rice, the maize, spinach, 1 year crops. Then we look at the biennial plants. This one complete their life cycle in 2 years. They will take the first year to grow, develop very well, store their food, then second year for reproduction, maturity, and death. You see plantain there, you see pineapple, you see cassava, and other ones. Then the perennial plants. These ones live for more than 2 years. They can live for 10 years, some can live for 20, 35, 40, even up to 50 years. At least there might be some plants you've been seeing since you were born. They are still there. So they are under perennial plants. An example there are mango plants, oil palm, coconut, rubber, cocoa you can see here, and the rest of them. Is that clear? Okay, students, as we come to the end of the lesson today, I'm sure that if you were attentive, you'll be able to, any plant you see, you will give it a class. Is that clear? At least we classify crops under botanical, under agricultural, under years of life. That is their life cycle. Is that clear to you? Now, answer these questions. 1. Mention different ways of classifying plants. 2. List the 5 groups of plants according to botanical classification. 3. Mention at least 5 groups. Mention just 5 groups of crops based on agricultural classification. Then give 2 examples of each. Differentiate. Number 5, differentiate between fruits and nuts. Also between stem tuber and root tuber. Then number 6, state with 2 examples the 3 groups of crops based on life cycle. Right? Then number 7, agriculturally classify the following crops into their various groups. We have onion bulbs, we have nutmeg, melon, sorghum, pigeon pea, sweet clover, and cocoyam. All right? Answer those questions and submit them through my WhatsApp number, which is 080 639 63478. Okay, students, I know that you enjoyed the lesson today. We see again next week. I still advise you to continue keeping safe. Thanks for listening. Bye.